back end. Don't worry.
Yeah. Okay. We okay. We are live, and today at the 5 at 5, me, Tushadi, and Bharat is here to talk about the ICC Women's T20 World Cup that is coming in 30 days, and that was the main topic earlier. The fact of the matter, that was the main topic that we were coming and discuss. But suddenly, South Africa had some different plan for us. They decided to come out with their squad. That is very normal. Every team does ahead of the tournament. That is quite normal. But the thing that they did, they came up with some surprises. And one big surprise. They came up with the surprise that Shabnim Ismail is back. And she is back. She has come out of the retirement. And she is all ready to play for South Africa in the World Cup. That is going to be played in England. So before talk about that, obviously, let's me read out the team first, and then we'll talk about that. So here is the team for South Africa. Laura Ulbert, the captain, Tasmin Brits, Nadine de Klerk, Anne Derrickson, Shabnim Ismail, Sinaru Zapta, Madison Cap, obviously she is back, Ayabonga Khaka, Sunelu, Karabo Meso, Non Kululeko Malaba, Kayla Reneke, Tumi Sekofune, Chloe Tran, and Dane Van Niekerk. Tushadi, I'll start with you. Tushadi, so this is the squad. I think we all know by now. And obviously, the return of Shabnim Ismail. How dangerous South Africa is looking now after this inclusion ahead of the World Cup.
Let the other teams just not go. I mean, why are people coming back from retirement? Why is everybody becoming Shahid Afridi? Not fair. Yeah, let us also have a few people coming back from retirement. But
Yes.
see, it's very different from when Dane made a comeback, because Dane was, of course, not match ready as such, because Snehashish, mute yourself. Yeah. So when Dani made a comeback, she was not in. She was not playing, and then she made a comeback. So she needed to be there, up with the fitness and all that. But with Shabnim Ismail, it's nothing that will change a lot, because she's already playing all around the world. It's just that maybe the motivation level would be that much more, because now she's playing for the country. And I think it's a statement in itself that she has kept herself so fit and kept herself at the top of her form in many ways, that South Africa has had to call her back. And I think that also, um, I somewhere feel it has also got to do with Marizane Cap. Probably the seniors, got together and said, you know what, we are coming so close to the World Cup, but we are just not having that, probably not the best of bowling. If you look at the India match also, you needed somebody along with Marizane Cap probably to do well. Then it takes a little bit of a pressure off Marizane Cap if you know that Shabnim Ismail and Marizane Cap are going to take the new ball. So you go to the next question then.
Okay, I think this is the next question that I would love to ask Bharat. Bharat, Shabnim Ismail is back. You have seen her play for so many years, and now she is again back. And she and Madison Cap are going to open that bowling innings for South Africa with that new ball under England conditions in the World Cup. How do you see? And obviously, India, Australia are in the same group.
Yeah, it takes you back to old days. Some of the times, Kaap and Shabnim Ismail bowling together, and I think they complement each other quite well. Kaap, from what I've seen for a long time, she swings the ball a little more. Ismail is more of a seam bowler, kind of a seam bowler, and quicker as well. I saw her in the WPL. She was still maintaining good pace. It's not that she's lost a little bit of pace. I genuinely believe she's the quickest bowler that I've seen in women's cricket over a very long time. She's watched a little bit of Catherine Fitzpatrick as well. Even if I consider her, I think Shabnim Ismail is quicker. So I think suddenly South Africa have that kind of formidable bowling lineup as well, with her coming into the equation. Obviously, Kaka is someone who bowls line and length, bowls on a particular place, good length area. That is her strength. But suddenly they have some pace alongside swing as well. Maybe only in relation to spin department or a period of time. Other than obviously the effervescent, the very effective Malaba. Maybe they have a small weakness there, but I don't know to what extent spin bowling will play a part in English conditions. So I think South Africa look very balanced, even if you look at their depth in their batting department as well, with Rainek doing well somewhere down the slightly down the order, and then to have someone like Nadine de Klerk as well. So they have a very balanced looking side.
Yes, absolutely. I think there is no doubt that this South Africa looking absolutely so much balanced team on paper. The options that they have at the top order, then the middle order, and the finishers also, the proven finishers that they have, and then the fast bowling unit. And I think Malaba has been superb with this when it comes to spin bowling, along with Chloe Tran. I think Chloe Tran in the India series we saw how good she has become suddenly with the ball. But Trishadi, with Shabnim Ismail, I think in WPL we saw how good how how good fitness she has maintained so far at this stage of his career as well. And the fielding also, some fielding saves that we can remember at the boundary lines at this age. How difficult for an athlete like her to maintain that despite not playing international cricket. As you mentioned that for Dane van Niekerk, she also made a comeback before the 2025 ODI World Cup. We all thought maybe that she can get into the squad, but she was not there. Maybe the fitness, maybe the lack of game time, that was the main reason. But now both of them are there, and South Africa looking very, very strong.
Absolutely, I think Dane more so for her, more so for her batting could be extremely dangerous, and Shabnam Ismail. I mean, the lesser you talk about her, the better it is because the best part about Shabnam Ismail's Nehachish is she'll give her 1,000% till the last ball of every single match. Whether it's with the ball, whether it's on the field, and even if it's with the bat, though she does not at least from what I know, she does not bat superbly. But I won't be surprised if suddenly she comes out and hits two sixes also, because the South Africa team is on a different mission altogether. So yeah, I think all this, you come back to that same point at the end of the day, shows that South Africa are now desperate to have the cup. Till now they were, of course, in a way, they were building the team, they were competing, and now they want to win. uh, I think that has come from someone like a Laura Woolworth, absolutely leading the team like that. And when you have now, you have a nice mixture of youth and youth and experience with Shabnim Ismail, Marizane Cap, and Dane van Niekerk, and India's future and my light is acting up the same way. In India's future in the World Cup with Shabnim coming back looks a little dim. My light also is getting a little scared because of that. So anyway, getting back to the point, you have all the bases covered. You and I have been speaking about this since the 2025 World Cup, that somewhere the bowling lineup was becoming a bit of a problem. Yes, Tumiseku Kune is working against India, but not every opponent is going to miss her balls. And if you see that, we have spoken about this, that be it Masabata class or Ayabonga Khaka, they have been doing they have been very inconsistent with their performances. So it is completely on Marizane Cap at one point. Now with Shabnam Ismail, if Marizane Cap has to actually be, when Marizane Cap takes the ball, she'll be like, it just doesn't matter. There's Shabnam Ismail at the other end. You have Anri Derrickson to back her. And what a very good bowler does is, someone like Shabnim Ismail then means that your pace bowling. Now, if you look at South Africa's pace bowling, see, out of 20 overs, you will get 4 from Shabnim, 4 from Marizane Cap, 8 done, 4 from Malaba, so 12 done. Now, for the rest of the 8, you have Derrickson, you have Nadine de Klerk, you have Chloe Tryon, you have Reneke. So you have so many options that suddenly you might find a place to play an extra batter there. So that opens up, and this sets up the World Cup beautifully. Don't forget, Sunelu also bowls, who's opening the batting. So they can very easily, with Shabnim and Marizane Cap and Malaba doing the maximum, say 10 overs. Even if they bowl 10 overs between them, there are enough and more people to bowl the rest of the 10 overs, which not every side can boast of.
Absolutely. Bharat, my next question is regarding the combination of South Africa. As Tushadi mentioned, that after the inclusion of Shabnim Ismail, the door opens for different kind of combinations for this South African team, especially for someone like the skipper Laura Ulvert. Now, is there a more option, more variety for her, in that team to come up with different combination, and when it comes to pace bowling unit, and obviously, I think now it will be difficult for someone like Abunga Khaka to get a place in the playing 11.
Yeah, obviously, if you look at someone like Aka, she's pretty good in what she does, in the sense that she will put the ball in the right place. We saw it in the 2024 T20 World Cup as well. She will hit a good lens spot all the time. But with someone like Shabnim Ismail coming into the equation, I think she might find it quite difficult to get into that playing 11. And as you noted, they have players for almost every single slot now. They even when it comes to even when it comes to spin department, they have a little bit of few options out there. And even when it comes to the pace bowling department as well, they have the options, the all rounders. Someone like Nadine de Clark, who has turned out to be a cutter specialist over a period of time, bowls a lot of cutters. So I think Kaka will find it slightly difficult to get into that playing 11. It's not just about their pace bowling department. Even if you look at their batting lineup, suddenly they have a little more depth. Maybe there was a time until Nadine de Clark started providing those finishing touches last year. It felt as if maybe slightly down the order, South Africa have an issue or two if the top three or top four don't fire. But now suddenly, even when it comes to their middle order, lower middle order, I think they have enough depth to come hard at the opponent. So it looks like a very balanced side.
Yes, absolutely. But Tushadi, we talked about the new ball that both Cap and Shabnim Ismail will be so much dangerous with the new ball. But what about the death overs? Now with the inclusion of Shabnim Ismail, we all know how she can be dangerous in death overs also.
Yes, it is simple, right? 2-2-2-2. Done. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Should I tell you the batting order also? What do you want me to do? And then and then we should plan to come back or something. It will be very interesting. The Australia versus South Africa match will become that much more interesting, because I do think that with the Australian team in a mid transition, and the South African team like this, it could be a very, very, very difficult match for Australia, and that would make things very tough when it's India versus Australia. So it becomes spicy for the neutral viewer. For the South Africans, a ray of hope. For Indians, okay, what to do? For the greater good. Well, there is one thing though, I think all of us will agree to this, that if we want any other side, to win apart from India, that would be South Africa. I'm sure it's hands down that's the thing. So maybe South Africa will fulfill our dream.
And I'm not going to talk about myself, Tushadi, and I think every other people know by now. Yes, yes. But Bharat, what challenges Indian batters can face? With the quality pace unit like South Africa now have, with the inclusion of this kind of players.
Sorry, Bharat, before you say, can I
Can you
crack a joke?
maybe the internet is having a problem? I will I can go out and
Okay,
come back
done.
uh,
Okay, okay.
because I couldn't hear that.
Yeah, yeah.
No worries. So, Snehashish, see, the thing is, Shabnim Ismail will stop Smriti Mandana, and Marizane Cap will stop Shafali. So that's how they'll play.
Then how
That's
can
the
we
problem
progress?
we'll face. Yeah, and then when Jemmy comes out, they have Malaba. So they have for sweep they have Malaba and Chloe Tran. It's a very interesting thing that power play, they might want to bowl Shabnim only one over in the power play. You never know, because you can also bring in a Chloe Tryan, you can try Malaba, you can bring in Sunelu, Kyle Reneke. That's what I'm saying. They have so many options that I think for the first time South Africa team is actually looking more like an Australian team.
I think certainly. I think if the options that you can see on in this squad, I think it's looking like in every department they are top quality stars, and you cannot name any one player that okay, this player looks a little bit of out of form. Maybe this is an area that every other team can look to exploit. That is not the case. Even Karabo Messi, the wicket keeping option has also improved in recent times for South Africa. I think behind the
But
stumps, she has been
Sunolo
fantastic.
Jafta herself has improved so much, yeah.
Yes, yes,
Sunolo
Sinalu
Jafta
Zapta.
has been a revelation, absolute revelation. The way she has batted, forget about the keeping. There's still a lot of improvement to be done in the keeping, I believe. But what about the batting? She is hitting sixes at will, and that too some very good shots. So I think, yeah, South Africa is looking very good. And if South Africa does not do well in this World Cup, they'll
Oh
have
yes,
only themselves to blame. That's it.
yes,
And I don't think that they will get such a strong team if they don't do well with this team right now.
yes. And actually, this rumor of some that Shabnim Ismail might make a comeback. It began, I think,
Hmm.
around two months ago. I think suddenly some reports came out
The
that she
coach
might make a
bringing up,
comeback.
the
Yeah, the
coach had
coach
said,
brought up yes, but
yeah,
then the buzz went down. So we are not thinking about that. But suddenly, few days back we got that few reports again that she has already reversed the decision and she's going to play for South Africa. So I
yeah.
texted a guy, related to cricket South Africa, and he didn't reply me yesterday. And today the team came out, and now he replied me. Now you know, brother, why I didn't reply you. And I'm okay, bro. Good surprise, but don't give this kind of surprise to me, please.
Yeah, I also tried to tell my source to ask this to the
Yeah.
player herself, but of course, everyone was a little, "Arey
Yeah.
yaar, nahi yaar, kya yaar," that sort of. And especially, I think, you know what, Snehashish, they had pulled a very similar stunt when it came to Dane just before the ODI World
Yeah.
Cup, which is where I think a lot of people were not uninterested at one point when this news was there that every single time South Africa is trying to pull something out
Yes.
of the hat. But I think the difference that was made was, as my friend rightly said, that Dane was nowhere fit to play international cricket, but
Mhm.
Shabnim is absolutely fit. And I think that is where the decision of adding her to the squad immediately must have come. And I won't be surprised if Shabnim Ismail on the podium with the World Cup in hand says, "Okay, I'm done now."
I think that's the story for the ages. You're making a comeback, coming back out of the retirement and winning the World Cup instantly. I
See,
think that's
Bharat
the
is
story.
so agitated about Shabnam's coming back. He can't even sit at home. He has just left home. He has said, "I'm going on the roof. I need some fresh air." Yes, Bharat, we are with you. Just be careful.
Yeah.
There's a car behind you. We don't want you to be hit by the car, like we are all hit by the Shabnim news.
Yes, but Bharat, I was asking the same question that I asked to Shadi, that what kind of challenges Indian batters can face with the kind of quality, pace attack now South Africa have in that game.
Yeah, first of all, obviously, someone like Kaap, she will bring control into play. She's someone who has exemplary control. Someone from ball one, she will hit the right areas. I think that is her greatest strength. Yes, I understand. She swings the ball. She can bowl back off the length as well, hit the bat hard on impact. But I think her main strength is her control. Shabnim Ismail obviously will bring pace into the equation. She's very quick. Seems the ball a little bit. I think she bowls that wobble seam as well. And yes, Sabalai Malaba, she has troubled the Indian team. You would know on enough occasions she has troubled the Indian team as well. So yes, they have that kind of quality in their bowling attack. And someone gets injured, someone like Kaka can still bowl reasonably well. Yeah, as a backup bowler because she will bowl good line and length all the time. South Africa definitely have the quality, and I think especially with a new ball, India have to really play well to get through those power play overs.
Yes, all eyes will be on
Also,
that
can I
match.
just say something on a lighter note? Like, I know people can kill me for this, but just saying, we were troubled by Tumi Sekukune.
Oh yes,
I'm just saying.
yes, yeah. I also
Now,
got this point in
Shabnim
my
Ismail
mind
is
by
back.
yes. Yes. So it's
Also,
not
Rohan
looking
was
that
just
good.
called. Rohan was like, what
Yeah.
are you going to write tomorrow? I said, there is only one thing that I'm going to write. Shabnim, the comeback of Shabnim Ismail and the do or die World Cup for South Africa.
Oh yes, absolutely. In this World Cup, if South Africa, don't go all the way and
If
please.
South Africa does not win, then Snehashish will stop supporting South Africa.
Yes. Okay. Okay. There are a few comments. Let's take those. खुशी सिंह saying बस अब तो भगवान बचाए आप पावर प्ले में कैप स्मृति को रन नहीं बनाने देगी और शबनम शेफाली को. I think just what Trishati mentioned earlier, that it will be so much difficult for both Indian openers. Okay, the next comment from freaking awesome 2501. Pakistan have lost a test. Okay, this is regarding the men's cricket. I think Pakistan have lost against Bangladesh. Yeah, in the test match, that is the news. Anything you want to add on that, Bharat? Yeah, have you followed that match and anything?
Oh, little bit I saw right at the end. If I want to add something, obviously from Bangladesh's point of view, it was good to see their fast bowlers winning them a match. So times are changing. Bangladesh have a pretty good pace attack, especially a tall fast bowler like Nahid Rana. I think that has been the biggest takeaway from that game. And yes, another loss in Shan Masood's Test captaincy era. So four wins. I think they have lost 10 Test matches now under his captaincy.
Yes. I just liked how Bharat mentioned Shan Masood captaincy era. Now, nice. Yes. Okay, Khushi Singh saying this fast bowling unit in England scary. Absolutely, no doubt about that. Tushati, this is for you. True Wicket saying, why do India women not have T20 specialist despite the advent of WPL? This side is a CC of a ODI side, as a carbon copy. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Uh, I don't completely agree with True Wicket. That's there, but I understand where he or she is coming from. I would say, there's a lot read into the advent of WPL. It's WPL. It's not PC Sarkar's magic show. That it's just 5 years, I think, WPL, if I'm not wrong. So if you go back and think about the men's team and IPL, it's the same thing. It's not like in 5 years of IPL you really had a revolutionary team. You are thinking of that now when it's already 18 years that you have the game has changed, players have come up. Now India can very well play three T20 sides as far as men are concerned. I think eventually it will happen. But even if you look at WPL, so if your reference is WPL, tell me which WPL has been won on an Indian shoulder alone. Don't come and tell me about Smriti Mandana, because there was a Lauren Bell that side as well. And Lauren Bell, by the way, is an English citizen and not Indian citizen. We would love to have her, considering our pace bowling issues, but somehow I am not seeing her much interested though. But yeah, to be honest, if you see RCB, when RCB won their previous trophy, that was Ellis Perry had a huge role to play. So if you look at WPL, you will see every single team is still highly dependent on their overseas players. If you look at IPL now, that dependence has slowly vanished. I'm sure in WPL also that will happen, but hasn't happened yet. And uh, that in itself tells you that T20 specialists will take a little more time.
Yes, absolutely. I think more talents will come, with the time going from the WPL. There is no doubt about that. Unknown nobody nine saying what are the weaknesses left in South Africa team? Is there any weaknesses left, Bharat, in this team?
I'm thinking, as I said, the only thing I can think of is in terms of the spin department, because Dane doesn't bowl now. I've not seen her bowl
Hmm.
even in the ODIs or limited overs cricket that South Africa played. Maybe just maybe in terms of wrist spin, uh, there is something to look at. But I know I'm clutching at straws. That's what I would say, because there's nothing much you can say as a weakness, because Malabar herself is a very effective spinner. Troyan herself has been doing reasonably well for South Africa. So there isn't much. There was a time when it felt as if if they lose their wickets up front, especially during the 2024 T20 World Cup, it felt as if they lose something that I noted you before that final against New Zealand. That even though Bosch did well in that semi-final game, that if they lose wickets up front, I have some concerns with their South African batting lineup. But now they have, I think, enough depth. Even if you look at their batting lineup, because Nadine de Klerk, the way she played last year, and obviously youngsters are coming in now. Beckerson, Reinek herself, all these players are coming in the picture. So South Africa have enough depth even in their batting department. So I think there is very little to look at in terms of weakness.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'll say two weaknesses which have they got over or not. We will find that out during the World Cup. One is you know the consistency factor,
Mm.
whether they can perform as a team consistently or not. This has been an issue with South Africa. And the other factor that I'm looking for is, can they win the important moments? Are they mentally going to win the important moments or not? That's the only way. If they cannot cross that border, they cannot perform under pressure, they cannot hold on under pressure. That is the only thing I think that will separate Australia and the World Cup this time, with this team at least.
Always said a line. I'll go back to the 2024 T20 World Cup. On paper, they definitely look like a better side than New Zealand, but there too they slipped. I understand them losing to India in Indian conditions in an ODI final. I genuinely believe that the Indian side was better of the two in those conditions, but in the UAE, they should have beaten New Zealand if you look at the two sides on paper. So I guess I think that's the only thing to look at in terms of whether they have that mental ability to cross the finish line.
Yes, absolutely. I think that is the one area that they need to improve this time around, because with this team, if they do not win the cup, I think it will be a very, very big setback for them. Okay, another comment for Trishadi, Shashwat Singh saying, Trishadi, I am not confident of this Indian women's T20 side of even qualifying. Australia, England in their own conditions, South Africa and New Zealand women have a much better squad. Except 4 or 5 players, our team needs to improve their T20 game.
More than improving the T20 game, Shashwat, I do think that, suddenly if your balance is completely off, that is exactly what it is with India right now. I don't know how will they get the entire balance and playing 11 setup ready in the first three games, but yeah, it is going to be tough. Again, I feel the fact that Australia and South Africa are facing each other in the first game, and India has Pakistan and Netherlands to face, probably things will be a little easier. But you cannot write Pakistan off either.
Oh yes, I think the quality of cricket that improved for
Always
Pakistan in
one
the last
question, if
2 months.
it is fine to both of you. This is just on a light-hearted note. I heard that the England team are doing some military style training or whatever it
Yeah,
is. What
yeah,
exactly?
yeah. they
Okay.
they went to the army camp, Bharat, and with them they were doing those drills, and then how do military, like
Yeah,
army
react
um,
under pressure and everything.
strategize in a war situation, in an emergency situation. I don't know what is England trying to do. I'm actually scared. I'm going to clearly tell them that I am here only as a journalist. Please, no strategies.
But will it help in ensuring that they don't drop catches?
Yeah, and they don't end up injuring important players, as long as that doesn't happen.
Okay, last 3 comments. Al Altamasha Ma Sansari. I
Hmm.
saying I am predicting Beth Moon is scoring a century against India in World Cup. Oh my God,
Why?
not a good
Why are you
prediction.
predicting something
Yes,
like
not
that?
a good
Why?
prediction at all.
Yeah.
Pile to world saying Shabnim Ismail is back. OMG, Cap and Ismail both are very great bowler. 3-3 over in power play only. Oh my God.
Then we'll leave
Okay.
the match there and walk out.
Okay, Pawan Express saying, I think India women will qualify for semi-final of World Cup. That's the very positive comment for sure.
Yes.
Yes. But before then, Trishadi, another comment for you. Trishadi, why are so many Indian pacers getting injured? Is it a workload management issue, or there is also limited information on what the injuries are? That is a
Yeah,
problem
I
since
agree with the third
2024.
sentence. Yeah, exactly. I agree with the third sentence. With the second sentence, yes, I think partly that's the case. I don't think women cricketers are used to playing so many matches, that too so many pressure matches, India A tours, traveling. I think it is taking a little toll. Also, we have to see what exactly is the nutrition, and how, like, for example, I know Andhra Cricket Association has specifically worked on the nutrition front, even for under 15s, and
Mm.
they have got this whole, I think, there's a scheme where they help them out with the nutrition, even in off season, with their nutrition in the off season, which we do not know if every single team does, and every single state does. And somebody who's playing, but Andhra pacer Shabnim Shakil often keeps getting injured, and I have seen a lot of tweets on, you have to stop playing her from this tournament, you have to stop playing her from that tournament. My question is, how is going to someone like Shabnam Shakil make a mark and come back to the team if she does not play matches? So there has to be another way to see how can these injuries be worked on. What is
Mm.
exactly the problem? Is nutrition the base of the injuries and not workload management? Because I don't think people, I don't think players who play domestic cricket are playing 100 matches a year or something of that sort, which the Indian men's team is playing, the Indian women's team is playing now. So I would understand if a Smriti says workload management. For me, it is a little difficult to understand if someone like a Shabnim Shakil says workload management. But I do feel that over the years, probably women cricketers muscle memory is not used to so much work, so much wear and tear. At times the what do you call that, the bowling action or the batting stance is such that that also causes injury. My bigger concern, Bharat and Snehanshish, is the fact that once you're injured, it's as good as going to the Bermuda Triangle, you're not back.
Oh yes, yes. That's the reason. Especially, for example,
Can I
Pooja
just add
Bhaskar.
one line to it? This just a couple of
Yeah.
lines because obviously a week or so ago I was taking Stephen Johnson's interview, who's coached
Mm.
quite a few Indian fast bowlers, obviously in men's cricket. But what he said, I think, relates to women's cricket as well. He basically said that a lot of young, promising cricketers in India, even including fast bowlers, they get into cricket, but they don't do a lot of physical activity in the sense that in terms of athletics or in terms of exercises or in terms of maybe in foreign countries they might be playing rugby and all. So what happens is they're not really conditioned to bowl fast, because fast bowling obviously is a strenuous task. He said that it takes into equation three sports that includes javelin, that includes cricket, and another sport that he mentioned. So he says that there is a lack of physical activity in young Indian athletes. That could be a reason why there are so many injuries because it's a very strenuous task, fast bowling, and I think that could be one of the reasons. Lack of physical activity at a young age because they have been they are taught to play cricket, not to play, and that's what he basically said.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yes.
What Bharat has so properly said, that we don't have that culture of fitness. That's a huge issue. We are not athletes. We've become athletes and then we start becoming fit. So it's not we are
Mhm.
athletic. We become athletic with the selection in elite level sports. And injuries can be bad. Like my shoulder injury as a pacer, I had shoulder injury. I'm still carrying that injury. It's difficult, but proper rehab is important, and that is why I'm saying, what Bharat said. Actually, because of that, I'm saying that we need to have more facilities as far as rehab is concerned, because clearly we aren't as fitness freaks, or now it's changing a little, but otherwise most of us have never really played, or we don't run,
Mm.
we
Yeah.
don't walk. There's no morning walk as a culture. We are doing
Culture.
it, it's okay, but we don't have that culture. And Rohan and I, Bharat and Snehashi, if you remember, we had done this story from
Mm.
France. In the evening you go to any park in France, even kids who are what, about 2 3, who can barely walk, they're falling, but they're running with their parents. My own niece, who's
Yes.
outside, when she was about 2, the school had asked her to swim, and we are like, oh my god, are you planning to kill her or something? But that's how it works, with them. And that's why they're not scared under pressure, because they have been put under pressure so early. And number two, the athleticism comes very easily to them.
Yes. So it's all about the culture, from
Yeah.
early stage of your life, from early stage of your career, you're getting into that culture and you're getting accustomed to with that. I think that definitely helps them. So on that note, we'll wrap up this show. Thank you, Bharat. Thank you, Trishari, for joining in.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I have
everyone,
to go
for
for a
joining
meeting.
in. Oh, yes. And as we started the live show by saying that only 30 days to go for the mega event, and all the teams, are announcing their teams as the day passing by. Till then, and obviously, we'll coming back with all the
Can I say
latest
something?
updates. Yes.
Only 13 more, no, 12 more days of you guys seeing me in India. And then it will be all England.
Yes. Now that's the start of a very long, long journey for Trishadi in England.
Oh my
Very,
god,
very long.
yes.
Yes. So, okay, thank you guys again for joining in. For all the latest updates regarding women's cricket and all the other sports, please keep an eye on Web Sports, and please like, share, and subscribe the channel. Till then, take care and goodbye. Thank you.